Okay, so today we're diving into something that's, well, it's way more than just a book. It's a puzzle box, it's a symphony, and it's a deep philosophical journey, all rolled into one. We're about to decode the Atalanta Fugiens, also known as the fleeing Atalanta. I mean, think about it. This thing was published way back in 1618, and it wasn't something you just sat down and read. No, it was designed from the ground up to be a completely immersive experience, blending art, poetry, and music. It's basically one of the world's very first pieces of multimedia. So what's really going on here? What's the secret? Why would someone go to all this incredible trouble? In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers of this amazing work and find out how it tells one single profound story, but in 3 different languages at the same time. All right, let's get into it. First, we need to meet the guy who created this masterpiece and get a feel for the world he lived in. This was a really fascinating time, right on the edge of the Age of Reason. A time when the lines were blurry, science, magic, and art were all kind of tangled up together.
And the guy behind all this? A man named Maier. And this guy was the real deal. A true Renaissance man. He was a physician, a respected philosopher, and the official alchemist for the Holy Roman Emperor. He lived right at that crossroads where mysticism and the new sciences were colliding.
And get this, the structure of the book is just mind-blowing. Maier put together 50 incredibly detailed engravings. For each one of those engravings, he wrote a poem, composed a unique piece of music called a fugue, and then wrote a long philosophical essay explaining it all. This wasn't just for entertainment, it was a serious tool for meditation and contemplation.
So, to crack this code, we have to start with the story at its heart. Maier built this entire complex work on the foundation of a classic story from Greek mythology, one made famous by the Roman poet Ovid.
So you've got Atalanta, this fierce, incredible huntress who can run faster than any man. She wants nothing to do with marriage, so she sets up a deadly challenge. Any suitor has to race her. If they win, she'll marry them. If they lose, well, they die. But then comes Hippomenes. He gets a little help from the goddess Aphrodite, who gives him 3 magical golden apples. During the race, he throws them to distract Atalanta, manages to win, and they're finally united.
Seems like a pretty straightforward story about being clever in a competition to win love, right? Wrong. For an alchemist like Maier, this was no simple myth. This was a perfect, coded blueprint for a secret and fundamental process of the universe. And this is where we get to the second layer of the mystery. For the alchemists, that race, it had nothing to do with romance. It was a step-by-step guide to achieving their ultimate goal, the great work.
It's a code, every single piece of that story. Atalanta, Hippomenes, even the apples, they all stand for something else. They're symbols for key alchemical elements. The whole myth is a hidden recipe for how to unite opposing forces to create something new, something whole.
At the core of alchemy is this idea of cosmic parents. You can see them right here in Maier's own drawings. You've got Father Wind, who represents everything that's volatile, spiritual, and always moving. And then you have Mother Earth, representing everything that's fixed, material, and stable. The whole point is to figure out how to bring these two together.
And this sacred marriage has a special name in alchemy, the conjunctio. It's the chemical wedding, the merging of total opposites, hot and cold, fixed and volatile, masculine and feminine. This is it. This is the grand finale of the whole alchemical process.
Okay, we've covered the myth and the alchemy, but now we get to what I think is the most brilliant part of all, the music. You see, Maier didn't just write some tunes to go with his poems. He made the music itself tell the alchemical story. His choice here was just genius. He wrote 50 fugues. Now, why is that so clever? Well, the word fugue comes from the Latin word for flight or chase. It's a musical form where one melody, one voice starts a theme, and then a second voice literally chases it by copying it. It is, quite literally, a musical race. This slide right here is basically the key to everything. It's the Rosetta Stone for the whole book. Look at this. Atalanta, the one who's fleeing, she represents the volatile alchemical element mercury, and she is the first leading voice in the music. Hippomenes, the pursuer, represents the fixed element sulfur, and he is the second voice, the one that imitates and chases her. And those golden apples, they represent the third element, salt, the crucial catalyst that brings them together. In the music, this is the third voice, a constant, steady bass line that holds everything together. So think about that. When you're listening to one of these fugues, you're not just hearing music, you're hearing the alchemical process happen in real time. You hear Atalanta's voice, always leading, always changing and fleeing. You hear Hippomenes' voice, chasing right behind her, copying her melody. And holding it all together underneath is the slow, steady voice of the golden apples, the cantus firmus, or fixed song, that allows the other two to finally connect.
So, a 400-year-old book about alchemy and music, what does that have to do with us today? Well, fast forward about 300 years, and the famous psychologist Carl Jung stumbles across texts just like this one, and he sees something absolutely incredible in them, a map of the human mind. Jung had this radical idea. He believed that the alchemists, while they were messing around with chemicals and furnaces, were unconsciously projecting their own inner psychological worlds onto their experiments. Their great work, he argued, was actually a perfect metaphor for what he called individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming a whole integrated person.
So the real goal was never about turning lead into literal gold. It was about an inner alchemy. It was about integrating all the different parts of ourselves, uniting our conscious, everyday mind with our vast, hidden unconscious. It was about reconciling those opposing forces inside us, what the alchemists called sulfur and mercury, to achieve that inner sacred marriage, that psychological conjunctio.
As Jung himself put it so perfectly, the alchemists, whether they realized it or not, were describing a psychic reality of the highest significance. They weren't just chemists, they were pioneers, charting the vast, unknown territory of the human soul.
And that's really what this is all about, isn't it? This deep human need to feel complete. As one scholar writing about Maier's work said, totality is something to which we incline. It's a natural pull, an instinct to become whole.
And that really leaves us with one final, big question. Maier's incredible creation gives us a story of uniting opposites told through myth, alchemy, and music. And it kind of invites us to look inward and ask, what are the fleeing and the pursuing voices inside of us? And more importantly, what are our golden apples? What are the things that can help us bring all those different parts of ourselves into harmony?